What's going on, guys? Ramez here, and I want to quickly summarize core principle number 2, which is move well and move often. Now, I've adopted this principle from continuous training in the functional movement systems, and it's well summarized by what Gray Cook calls the performance pyramid. In the blog, I refer to it as the movement pyramid, but basically it's comprised of 3 tiers. The foundational tier is movement competency, our basic ability to control our own body weight and our own joints. The second is movement capacity, our basic level of fitness, strength, endurance, or power. And our third is skill, our basic level of technique required to perform the activities that we choose to perform. Now, injury prevention requires all 3 of these tiers, but it's important that we build movement performance or movement wellness from the ground up. So our movement wellness services screen and assess at the foundational level or the movement competency level, basically asking, do you have the ability to control your own body weight and to control your own joints? We then categorize those movements or that information into 4 categories, the first being optimal. You demonstrate what we ask you to perform perfectly. Second is acceptable. It's not perfect, but it's good enough and it's acceptable to load and train. The third category is unable. You're unable to perform a basic movement pattern. And number 4 is pain. You hurt with a basic movement pattern. So the last 2 categories is really what we're trying to capture here. And these are the movement red flags or the orthopedic risk factors that we are referring to. We want to make sure that we remove these risk factors from training in stressful scenarios. Basically what that means is we don't want to load these patterns, fatigue and stress these patterns, because it'll further complicate things. Remember, these patterns are disconnected at a fundamental and basic level. So we want to help people reconnect to these basic movement patterns while not loading them during training. And then we want to help establish or create wise exercise choices to move towards our capacity goals for strength and endurance. So we're not trying to police perfect movement here. We're basically drawing a line that says this is the minimum standard for movement quantity and quality. If you fall below this line in the unable and pain categories, we want to help you reconnect to these movements, make sure we're not loading them and stressing them during training, and then help you make wiser exercise choices to progress or continue to progress towards capacity. When you do, or if you meet the minimum standard for these movement patterns, well then let's train the patterns and load the patterns progressively and intelligently to move towards capacity, but let's not compromise basic mobility and basic body weight control in the meantime. So in this way, we can all reap the benefits of exercise and physical activity without compromising the health of our joints and our movements and minimizing the risk of injury. And that's the essence of the move well, move often principle. Thanks for listening.